Friedrich and Chanukah. Today's Tanya is for Chof Tes Kislev. We're starting now the beginning of Perek Dalet. Alter Rebbe has explained Perek Aleph. He introduced us to the Nefesh of Bahamas. In Perek Beis, he introduced us to the Nefesh Alikis. Yesterday, he explained that the Nefesh Alikis, the godly soul, is comprised in basically two. You have the seichel, you have the intellect of the person, which is the chacham, bina, and das. And through contemplating and meditating, you are able to affect also the midas, the emotions of a person, which is chesed, gvura, tiferes, netzach, yisei, malchus. So the soul is comprised, every neshama is comprised of these 10 faculties, these 10 powers, which make up the neshama. So when a person is feeling kindness, that stems from the level of chesed. When he feels in a way of severity, that's gvura, etc., etc. Now, in Perek Dalet, the Alter Rebbe is going to introduce that the idea of that every person also has, every nefesh alikis has 3 garments, 3 levushim. So, just like when a person puts on a garment, he's going to he has to go outside, he has to put on clothes, he puts on certain garments for certain events. So the garment is not who he is, he's expressed through the garment. That's how a person is perceived through his garment, but it doesn't constitute of who the actual person is. So that's the difference between levushim and the actual keiches hanefesh. The keiches hanefesh, the Esher keiches, that's who a person is. Now it takes a long, long time for a person to tap in and actually fear and love and all the expressions, the emotions that a person has. It could take many, 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 many years for actually a person to develop, to make that a habit. And to love Hashem, to fear Hashem, all those expressions that don't come natural could take a long time to actually develop. Now, the levushim, that's instant. That happens right away. So what the Alter Rebbe is saying is that we're going to introduce that, yes, a person might not be able to actually have this innate love or fear of Hashem or any of those emotions, but it's possible for Mashava Dibur Maisa to happen instantly. Let's begin. In addition, in addition to the Eser Keiches, the 10 faculties, as we explained in Perek Gimel, the Nefesh Alikis, the divine soul, possesses these 3 garments. What are the 3 garments? Shemachshava Dibur Maisa, their thought, speech, and action. Shatayag Mitzvahs Atira, their thought, speech, and action, as they find expression in the 613 commandments of the Torah. The Alter Rebbe is now going to explain how the Nefesh Alikis expresses itself through the 3 garments. How does that work? So Alter Rebbe says like this: when a person actually fulfills all the mitzvahs in a physical action, so let's say he'll put on tefillin, he'll wear mitzvah, he'll put on tzitzis. So when actually a person actually does a mitzvah, he puts on tefillin, tzitzis, and with his power of speech, he occupies himself in learning all about the 613 mitzvahs. And the halach is, so he's learning actual with his speech. He's verbalizing it. Now with the power of thought, he comprehends all that's capable of understanding in the 4 levels of Torah. So then, so all the soul's 613 organs are clothed in the 613 commandments of the Torah. Which means to say like this: just as a human person consists of 248 organs and 365 blood vessels, so Torah also we have 248 positive commandments, and 365 prohibitive commandments. So the neshama comprises of 613 organs, which is the spiritual counterpart of the 613 bodily organs. So each organ corresponds to a specific commandment. So when through all the three levushim, the machshava dibur ma'aseh, the neshama embraces all 613 commandments, that all 613 organs of the soul are enclosed in the 613 commandments. Each organ of the soul is related to its commandment. So we see, in general sense, how fulfilling all the commandments with the person's machshava d'imra ma'isa clothes the entire neshama in all 613 commandments. Alter Rebbe now goes on to specify which components of the neshama are clothed by which particular garment. He explains. But Prati, specifically, Chinas Chachma Bina Dasha Benafshe, the Chabad of the neshama, his intellectual faculties. So the level of Chabad of his soul, it's clothed in the comprehension of Torah, which he comprehends in the 4 levels of Paradis of the Torah, to an extent that his capacity, and according to the supernal root of his soul. Now, the emotions of fear and love, together with their offshoots and ramifications, the Bashis became a mitzvah b'maisa diver, are clothed in the fulfillment of the commandments in deed and word, which are equivalent to all the commandments. The love is the root of a Yid's observance of all 248 commandments. And from it they issue forth. And without it, they have no true substance. He who fulfills them in truth is he who loves Hashem, namely, and truly desires to cleave to him. Truly cannot cleave to him except through the fulfilling of the 248 commandments, which are the 248 organs of the king, which because of Malcolm Akar is explained somewhere else. The fear is the root to all the 365 prohibitive commandments. A person fears to rebel against Hashem. Or a deeper level of fear, he feels ashamed before Hashem, so that he will not rebel against Hashem, that the all-seeing eyes of his glory by doing what is evil in his eyes. Also, namely all the abomination, things which Hashem hates, let's draw the nurture from man below in this world and have their hold in them through the 365 commandments. So when a person transgresses mitzvahs leisase, Hashem he provides the klippa with additional strength and vitality. Since klippa and the sitra achar are entities which conceal Hashem, so they're despised by Hashem, so the Yid therefore guards himself against sinning. He's ashamed to transgress and give the klippa strength and life. So now we can understand clearly how fear and love of Hashem are related to the fulfillment of the commandments, and how midas are the root and life force in the performance of the commandments.